Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we're going to talk about our HydroCore front swipe. The front swipe is the evolution of the front swing to clean. Before, we did a swing and we caught in rack, which taught us to absorb force with our hips, push our hips up, and then snap the arms out to get force moving through our core from our feet to our hands. Now we're going to take that one step further. We are going to swing down and we are going to bring it all the way up like a heavy club swipe or like a version of a snatch. It's kind of between the two things. With a kettlebell snatch, you catch with your elbows locked and your wrist in one position. With this, you kind of catch somewhere in between a swipe, which goes all the way down, and a snatch. It's kind of in the middle. With a double heavy club swipe, you would go here and they would end up behind you, and then you would use both your triceps and your lats in your body to get the weight over. You're gonna see the HydroCore is kind of somewhere in between that and a kettlebell snatch. So instead of swinging outside like we do with clubs, we're gonna swing inside and we're gonna get it all the way back. The top is very, very similar, except your hands are in very different positions. So now you can go all the way down, drive up with the triceps, use the legs, resist extension with the core, and snap it over. This is also very similar to our med ball slam. Coming from the ground, coming back, driving down, popping it up, driving down. The problem with the med ball slam is slamming it. If you're not in a building where you can slam shit on the floor, most places in New York you can't slam shit on the floor. Most old houses you can't slam shit on the floor. If you're in a garage, you can probably do it. If you're in a CrossFit gym, you can probably do it. If you're training outside, you can probably do it. But most people aren't able to train in their home and slam heavy things on the floor hundreds of thousands of times without getting evicted or just destroying their own house. Neither of those two things do we consider good. The HydroCore can kind of fill a very med ball-like niche, but keep everything moving so that it doesn't make any noise and it doesn't slam into anything, so it doesn't cause any damage to whatever building you're in. If you do a couple 100,000 med ball slams with a 25-pound med ball, you're definitely going to notice. Your house is going to notice. So think of this front swing swipe as something between a club bell swipe and a med ball slam that can be done anywhere, and it doesn't really require that high of a ceiling. We're going to go back to our yoga block for the walkthrough. At the bottom, two arms should not be impacting your body. If they're hitting your body, we don't really want that. We don't want the bag doing anything weird because your arm is dragging. We are going to stand up using our hips. You always stand up with your hips, even if the weight is light. You bring it in close, and we try and bring our thumbs towards the back of our shirt. If our elbows are out a little bit, that's not going to hurt us with this HydroCore because it's really not that heavy. With a heavy club, a 40, 50, 60-pound club, you would want to keep your elbow as tight as possible, usually one dominant elbow. Because this is light and there's no top hand, no dominant hand, I'm finding that you can get away with a little bit of elbow flare, using your legs and your core to snap it up from the bottom, knee bend, VMO load, snap your legs straight, and then extend your arms, bring the weight all the way through, and reload. With all of these HydroCore movements, we want to get the power as much from our legs as possible and a little bit from our arms. The legs always start the movement, and the arms then take the weight that's already moving and propel it throughout its range of motion. Bag out in front, hike it back, get it over. Another very good point about the HydroCore bag is that it moves faster than clubs. So you normally get X number of swipes per minute. I'm finding that the HydroCore is moving about 25% faster in order for the handles to not go soft and for it to fall in weird directions. So the HydroCore bag will force you to move faster, which is something which translates better in the future into power. I find that a lot of people that I train move at a very specific speed and they have a hard time accelerating beyond a speed at which they already know that they can operate. The HydroCore just forces you to operate all the movements at 25% faster, about, if my math works out thus far. Of course, the math on that might change as I do more of it and as we get more data, but right now I'm finding that it forces you to move faster than most other apparatus, which I think to be a good thing.